Hi everyone, I'm Miriam Isola, Adjunct Clinical Assistant Professor for Health Informatics and Technology at UIC. I just wanted to take a few moments to record a welcome. The course we're going to be working on for the next 8 weeks is called Transforming Healthcare Using Business Intelligence and Predictive Analytics. It sounds from the title that the course will be technically focused, and we will cover technical areas. It will basically what we will do is explore the major transformation that's going on now in the healthcare industry. I've spent the last 2 years working with clients as they begin to move toward a new phase in healthcare and begin to transform into a system that is more efficient, higher quality, lower cost, and better patient experience. For the last decade or so, we've been hearing about things like healthcare reform, ARRA, meaningful use, and more recently we've begun talking about business intelligence and analytics, things like data warehouses and population health management. All of these terms and things are initiatives being undertaken by healthcare organizations today as part of their effort to move into this new phase of healthcare. This phase is more patient-centered, more cost-focused, and more data-driven. So, beginning with HIPAA and on through the Affordable Care Act, healthcare has been slowly but steadily moving from a traditional model that is more medically focused to a more transparent kind of model. This is partly due to pressures for controlling healthcare costs, which have been increasing for a long time at an unsustainable rate. Now we've reached a point where there's an urgency and a readiness for organizations to make some of this transformational change. So the new model in healthcare will focus on wellness as well as curing illness. And it's in the news every day. You've probably heard it already. Some of the new things that are going on are becoming very mainstream and talked about in the media. The transformation will also lead to some new organizational structures, and you may have heard of these as well. Terms such as patient-centered medical home, accountable care organizations. These are structures that some organizations are already beginning to put in place, and those new structures are to help them in their transformation into this new phase of healthcare. So the change is actually starting to take shape and move rather quickly, with some organizations jumping on board right away. So it's because of all of this activity going on, we thought it was important to begin teaching some of these concepts in the Health Informatics program as work in this field begins to move into these areas. Over the last decade or even more, healthcare has been heavily focused on implementation of EMRs and other advanced clinical systems. So now the major efforts are going to shift just a bit from implementation. These systems are now a huge source of data that has been collected. So the next logical question is, how are we going to use all this data that has been collected? How can we get value out of these systems that we've installed and spent millions of dollars implementing? The way you get value is by beginning to use this data, and that takes us right into the business intelligence and analytics piece. So how are these systems going to help us provide better care for our patients? We're going to begin using that data, and we're going to begin doing a lot more measurement than we've been doing, and applying analytics in healthcare in the same way that it has been applied in a number of other industries. So in this course, we're going to be doing quite a bit of reading. In fact, it may be more reading than you've had in other courses. It's a very new subject, and it's a very broad subject. So there are many different topics. We have condensed everything down into 8 major topic areas, and we'll cover these over the next 8 weeks. We won't be able to get too deeply into any one of these topics, but the idea is to give you some exposure to the ideas and familiarize you with the topics so that you have the ability to discuss them intelligently, so that you have the ability to participate if there are some initiatives in your organizations, or once you graduate and get out on a new job, you will have heard of these things and you'll be ready to participate. We have limited the number of texts to 2, and we have an additional book that we'll be reading several chapters out of. In addition to the material in the books, we will be supplementing the course assignments with videos to watch and other various articles. So there's a variety of material. We're going to be moving at a pretty quick pace, so we're going to try and cover as much ground as possible and try to give you a very good overview of these topics over the next 8 weeks. One thing I want to emphasize is that the course is not going to teach you the details of how to do data analysis. Sometimes we get that question when people are looking to enroll in this course. Is it going to cover hands-on data analysis? No, we are not going to be doing that. Instead, our focus will be to talk about how healthcare is impacted by business intelligence and analytics, and how healthcare is now in a position where they need to build analytic capabilities. So you will see some details on how they are going about building some of these analytic capabilities. We will cover some examples and some case studies of what organizations are actually doing. But the focus will not be on doing any data analysis. So I hope you enjoy the course. I think it's a fascinating topic. To me, it really is. I've enjoyed working on it in the last couple of years with clients. I think it will be useful to all of us as we continue our work in the healthcare field.